ESPN.
What's going on, nation? I'm here with a very familiar name, but a new face for you all. The guy my girlfriend sends an edible range or two every year for feeding my family through head-to-heads. The guy who paid for every one of my beers since the last 3 years from all of our beer bets. It's my best friend, man. It's Thunder Dan. Introduce yourself, Dan.
Hey, thanks, Stevie. Good to be here. Just excited to be on the pod tonight. First time been at Wise Take here for 4 or 5 months now, and just loving it, man. I just write every day and in the Slack, chopping up with the guys every day. But I've been anxious to get on the pod with you and with everybody. So pumped to be here, man.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. After a rough 3-game slate where I kind of got fizzed out by Cornette and Jeremy Lin killed me a little bit, but final 11-game slate tomorrow. It'll be a bounce back day, man. We'll get right
Yeah.
into it.
For sure,
All right,
man.
let's
Let
start
me
at
just jump in real quick. Can I just jump in real quick?
Yeah, go ahead. Plug yourself. Introduce
Yeah.
yourself.
I forgot to tell everybody I'm at Thunder Dan DFS on Twitter, and for those that don't know, I'm also the social media director at Wise Take. So I run the Wise Take Twitter. Thanks for everybody for participating in some of our Twitter contests. We had a big one on Saturday. We gave out some free memberships and some Wise Take swag, like I got on tonight, and just want to encourage people to keep following the Twitter, and we're going to continue to run a lot of contests and get people involved. So just wanted to get that out there first. Sorry about that.
No, always, man. Always. All right, so we're going to start at the top end, go position by position. Start us off. Top end, the point guard.
Let's do it. You want to go?
You started off for us. Go ahead, Dan.
Okay, you got it. Tomorrow I'm looking at point guard, and obviously we have some major injuries here with Joel Embiid being out, and so my first look is at Ben Simmons. He's sitting at 9K on FanDuel, and he's at 8K on DK, and I just want to probably pencil him in first thing on this for my cash games, just because it's a great matchup. It's a pace-up matchup against the Pelicans, and I don't know if you're going to find a better floor than Simmons with his rebounds, assists, defensive stats. I know he can't shoot, but I mean, he's going to fill up the stat sheet against the Pelicans tomorrow for sure.
Anyone else see up top? Kind of above the 5-6K range?
Yeah, well, I mean, point guard's loaded.
Yeah, it's a big slate.
It's a huge slate. There's a ton of top end plays. I mean, you have Steph and Kemba in that game, and I'm interested in both those guys. But obviously, Chris Paul against Atlanta, if Harden doesn't play, is going to be a chalky play. But how do you not play some Chris Paul in a pace-up spot against a terrible Atlanta defense?
Definitely. Chris Paul is on one of my lists, too. He's 8.3K on DK. There's no Harden. Yeah, the matchup's obviously amazing. You lock him in, and don't question that. You saw his upside. Even with Harden, man, like, he's been chilling relatively high floor.
I know.
Even at his age, everything people think he's starting to be washed up, but he's been playing really well. But Harden on the top end too. If he plays, he's 11.6K on DK, and I have kind of a lot of interest in him.
Oh, for sure.
Even with CP3 being back, he's still posting usage rates above 40%, assist rates above 30%. The matchup's nice. Like at 11.4K, if he plays, how much can he really kill you, or how often can he fail in this matchup? It's gonna be tough there.
Yeah, I mean it's tough because you want to grab him in cash games for that huge floor, and there's probably enough value to do it. And he has a huge ceiling too. Right.
Definitely, there's gonna be a lot of value that opens up. Obviously, closer to lock.
Right.
We got some cheaper end value now with like Embiid being out, Giannis doubtful, so I can't imagine it being too hard to get to him. I'm also looking at, if he plays, of course, Doncic at 8.8K, point guard eligible on DK there.
Yeah, nuts matchup too with the Clippers, man.
Yeah, the matchup's amazing. Since the trade deadline too, after all the moves, posting above a 36% usage rate, above a 45% assist rate. He's averaging above 10 rebounds a game. I think he gets overlooked a lot because like early in the season, people didn't really see the upside in him, but now he's been smashing. He's been getting his minutes.
Mm-hmm.
He hasn't even really been shooting that crazy efficient from three, but he's still going, and so he's having huge games, man. And I
Yeah,
think if he,
he's got those triple doubles. I mean, the thing about him and Simmons is they're both small forward eligible on DK too. So
yeah,
you can run a couple of these point guards and a couple of Chris Paul and maybe like Eric Bledsoe, and you can also play like Doncic or Simmons at small forward or one of your forward slots, like and just run like 4 or 5 point guards tomorrow.
definitely. And obviously, this is the first look too. Like, but from the first look, there's not a lot of value I love from the point guard, shooting
No,
guard position on DK. So
I
I don't
wouldn't
mind
spend
paying
up.
up for both those guys, Ben Simmons, Doncic, and then finding my value in other places. But only
I
guy on the top end I really see too is obviously, like I said, with Giannis out, Eric Bledsoe, at 6.4K on DK. He's actually the guy seeing the biggest boost in both UCJ and fantasy points per minute. The matchup's great, and he still super cheap there, where he's flashed relatively good ceiling so far this season. So,
Yeah, I mean
uh,
1.5 fantasy points per minute or something. I'm looking at it like it's
yeah,
ridiculous. I mean, at that price, you're gonna have to lock him in if Giannis is out.
yeah, he's 6.4K. Like he hasn't been priced appropriately with Giannis being out, and he has some of the ceiling as a lot of these guys. I'm mentioning him above him with like Ben Simmons, Trey Young, Doncic. So it's gonna really be hard to fade him. I can't imagine it. He's good mid range value in a position I don't love, so I like him a lot there.
Yeah, I mean,
Uh,
I'm with you on the whole paying up a point guard thing because the more I scroll down, the more a lot of these guys are just iffy, and I'd rather pay up there and try to find some value at power forward or center or somewhere else.
Definitely. To take us down now, where we said we love the top end of point guard. Staying with that position though, anyone else you see down low that you like a lot?
I mean, I'm not like a revenge narrative guy, but you got Tyler Johnson against the Heat. Um, he's 5'6" on FanDuel. What's he on DK?
He's 4.8 on DK, and
Oh, he had a
I have
huge
of course
game.
noted, yeah, it's the revenge factor. Like of course, I'm not a big narrative guy, but it's revenge here,
Yeah,
and he's playing close to like 35 minutes per game now since he joined Suns now, and he's averaging 0.86 fantasy points per minute with them. If he's gonna play those minutes and seeing that production, it's gonna be hard not to love him.
yeah,
Put the
you're
revenge
right.
factor aside.
Geez, 4'8" on DK. It's like, I had him the other night at 4-1 and what did he go? Like 10, 12x or something? Like, Jesus. Like,
Yeah, it killed me too because I had him right in my player pool second before lock. Decided, all right,
yeah,
I'll need
last,
him.
last
Like
minute swap.
always, it's always kills me, man. Like I'll try to make that my excuse every time, but
hmm
who else? Below like 5K or so for the value range. Anyone else you
I,
see stands out to you right away?
not really. I mean,
Yeah, we
you're
mentioned too.
digging. Like
It's
FanDuel, here's
not.
the thing about FanDuel is, and I know you're playing DK a lot, but like they've had a lot more dynamic pricing this year, I think, as far as pricing guys up because of the drop score rule and everything. Like they don't guys don't sit down below 5K very often. As soon as they have a
Yeah,
big game or something, they're up over like I don't want to pay, you know, 6K for Chris Dunn or Darren Collison or any of these guys. Like they just don't have any upside.
the only guys on DK who are standing out to me, and they're both actually shooting guard eligible too. It's going to be first Derrick Rose. Obviously, it's a lot nicer if Cat plays. His minutes haven't really changed with Cat being out. The matchup's amazing. Last two games without Cat, he posted 37.5 usage rate and a 40% usage rate.
Mm.
He's still super cheap in this matchup. It's hard to ignore him. That price tag where he's 5.4 on DK.
What about
What's Derrick Rose priced on FanDuel?
let me just double check. He's at you know what? It's 5'5". That's actually I missed that. Good catch there because he's 5'5", and that's a massive pace up spot against the Kings. And you know, I was kind of looking at Teague, and Teague's up there around 6'7". I'm kind of like, especially if Cat's back. But
Teague scared me a little bit last game where he kind of got his minutes siphoned for those ancillary guys, but
Yeah, right.
with Derrick Rose still 5.4 in this amazing matchup with DK, like I said, he posted usage rates last two games with that cat, even in his short minutes, just below 40%. I have to
Yeah.
have a lot of interest in him there.
I mean, I like him coming off the bench. I think he's off the bench. He has more like a better usage, right? I mean, he's running that second unit.
Yeah, and then the only other guy too who I see all the way down low is going to be Brunson, if of course no Doncic and it's
Right.
kind of contingent on that. He's still super cheap, and he put up decent games. One huge game, one. I mean, again, relatively good for his price tag. Good game there. So if we don't get Doncic, you got to overlook last slate because he was like the lone 10:30 game where every other game like started below and before
Right.
8 o'clock.
Right.
But I'll definitely try to get him in there if I'm playing
Yeah, I
whatever
mean,
pieces
what
you could do.
3-9 on DK? Like, he doesn't have to do
Yeah.
much. Doesn't have to do
And
much.
we don't have a ton of that cheap value yet. Again, it's a first look podcast. I'm sure 11 game slate.
We'll
Everyone
get
knows
some.
how this goes. We're gonna get a lot of crazy stuff right before lock, but if a ton doesn't open up, if Doncic gets rolled out, Brunson's gonna be one of the guys I'm running to
Yeah,
3-9 there.
for sure. I mean, I'm looking here on DK now, and it's like, I mean, Dwayne Wade is point guard eligible. I guess he's more of a shooting guard on FanDuel, but he's 5'1", and Miami's got all kinds of injuries. I mean, they're not playing Dragic any minutes, and Winslow's doubtful, and um, I mean, that's a guy. He kind of burned some guys last slate, but against Phoenix, what kind of D Wade are you going to get? You can get a vintage D Wade on any given night. So there's one guy I kind of missed too in that 5K range.
I like him a lot too. Actually, last game it surprised me. I had him a decent amount where he went for like that 36 DKP. I thought he'd come in at like 10% or under that, and I think he was 18% or so. And I was like, damn, maybe I'm not that far ahead of the
It's not
field. But
sneaky, yeah.
let's move over to shooting guard now.
All right.
Start us off with the top range. Expensive guys. What do you see there?
So we kind of touched on Harden and Doncic already. I mean, I'm on FanDuel here, and so the build's a lot different over here because you need two shooting guards, and you don't have the multi-positional eligibility. Drew Holiday is at the top of the line here at 9K. I just don't know about minutes. I'm so hesitant with these Pelicans guys ever since they came out with the minutes restriction with possibly with him and AD. And then it's pretty loaded up top here too with D'Angelo Russell, Devin Booker. My favorite has to be down at 8K, Zach LaVine. He's just been crushing, and he's in a pace-up spot against Milwaukee, probably without Giannis. It's a huge total. I think it's sitting at 2. I got it here.
Right now we got
228. I mean, it's not huge. It's the fourth highest, but
228.
They're 11-point underdogs, and I don't get it. I don't understand how they just beat the Celtics by 10, and they're
That's what really
11-point
surprised
underdogs.
me. With no Giannis, we're still seeing them as 11-point dogs here. DK 7.4.
I mean,
Bucks.
he's just been going nuts though. Like, if you look at this game log, like 50, 39, he had a down 128 in the 47, 39, 42, 53. Like, he's kind of back to that crazy usage that he had earlier in the season where he's just carrying the team, putting up 25 shots a game. Like,
He
that's
kind of
hard to.
roller coastered for a little bit. He had that huge first half with no Chris Dunn where he was
Right.
like above AK at some points and playing really well. Everyone loved him. Chris Dunn came back. Everyone caught him on the back end. Didn't really
And he
play
was
him.
hurt too, right? Wasn't he hurt for a while?
Yeah, eventually he was priced like 6K, and now he's coming back up. The Bucks are dead last in 3-point percent frequency, as in they allow the most 3-point attempts, and they're bottom 10 3-point percentage allowed. We all know Levine loves to chuck, so if he takes a few of these threes here, catch
Right.
fire. He's still relatively cheap. Like him a lot there.
I mean, it's more of a GPP play for me because you're not, I don't love the floor you get, but I mean, especially if you want to stack them up with like those Bucks guys who are cheap with, we're gonna get to Middleton here in a second, but like, I feel like you can stack that game pretty easily with Bledsoe, Middleton, and then run it back with Levine or whoever else.
Yeah, we're gonna even when we get a power forward, we'll hit on marketing too. But this game's gonna be super easy to stack up. Continue with shooting guard too. Brogdon on DK is only 5.4.
Yeah.
No Giannis there. We're continually seeing all these guys not being priced appropriately when we kind of knew or know Giannis is going to be doubtful. We're going to have like Brogdon 5.4, Bledsoe 6.4, Middleton right around that,
Yep,
and like Levine 7.4. Like I'm not going to mind at all stacking up Levine with some of these other cheaper plays in the box too.
for sure, man. I mean, we'll get to it in a minute too with Miritich, but like I just feel like the Bucks are going to be, Chicago defensively is not good, and I know they don't play super fast, but these guys could smash, And Middleton's looking at sitting at 32% usage. He's got more usage than Bledsoe, and he's not quite as good fantasy point per minute, but still 1.35, and this is a huge sample size we're looking at here. It's not like, it's like 500 some minutes with Middleton with Giannis off the floor, and he just crushes.
The other two guys I'm looking at the top end for on shooting guard. It's going to be D'Angelo Russell.
Hmm.
His minutes have finally consistently trended up, where he's hitting around the 35 minutes per game now in close games. So I'm not going to mind playing him there, where we see actually Brooklyn favored it by 2 points.
And that's a
With
high
Spurs
total
coming
too.
in, yeah, Spurs coming in on the back-to-back. But I mean, even without that double OT game, we saw 30 field goal attempts from him one game. Spurs really aren't what everyone makes them out to be defensively. Everyone
Not at
has
all.
that stigma on them, where for years they're that slow-paced team, amazing defensively. And don't get me wrong, they're certainly still slow-paced, but they're 25th actually in defensive efficiency, only above some of the worst teams like the Wizards, Suns, Knicks, Cleveland. So I don't mind targeting him where I'm gonna say fair price on DK because he's certainly
Oh
been
yeah.
showing a kind of consistent ceiling. And then Wiggins is 6.3K. Again, capping it out would always be nice, because he's still super cheap. But it kind of goes back and forth where with capping out, we saw increased efficiency, but he's actually had a dramatically lower usage rate, which is
Hmm.
weird because that's not what I would imagine at all.
Right.
So I think if it kind of regresses to what we think, where he has that higher usage rate, if he can keep up this nice efficiency, he can really be out for a huge game, which he hasn't yet with Cat out. I think Cat's expected to play tomorrow, but
Yeah, he's probable if he's coming out of the concussion protocol. Um,
yeah,
I mean, I'm looking at that 6.3 for Wiggins, and it's tough because, like you said, like he's known as like a cash game guy, he had like a good floor, but never a great ceiling. But I mean, he's had some big games this year. I mean, I know some of them with Cat out, but I mean, there's no total on that game yet. But I imagine that's going to be a high total too. Both those teams play pretty fast, and I don't hate it. Might be a nice pivot off Middleton. Always will be a lot chalkier at the same price. So if you're looking to pivot, same price, same position,
yeah. All right, so start us off down low where we hit Brogdon was gonna be some nice value. Anything else
for
below
sure.
that for shooting guard you see so far?
Well, let me get back on D'Angelo Russell for a second, just because
Go ahead, sorry
I'm
about that.
like I'm like a notorious D'Lo hater. Like all season, I like refuse to play
I'm
him,
right
or
with you too, man, because
I just
I've
don't
had those
like him.
nights where I've seen him go for like 60, 50 plus
Ugh.
3 nights in a row,
And then you play
and
him and he
then
totally busts, right?
yeah, that's always how it works too. Like we've seen
And
plenty of times on the Y stream or on with Y stake and everything. But if you're not in there already, you got to get in there, man. It's
yeah,
everyone's counting money now, but
I mean, here's the thing with D'Lo, like he he is so frustrating, and every time I write him up or I suggest him, he busts, and if I say fade him, he's good. I don't know. Like the Nets rotations are crazy, and the San Antonio on the back to back. Like I just don't. I mean, if you're making a bunch of lineups, you need to have some exposure because he can like break the slate and go for 50 or 60. But I don't know. He's just. I guess
to me, it's short. But in DK, like there's not a lot I love right away for shooting guard at least. Like he's kind of towards the top of my playlist for him. Like again, we have Harden, who I'm gonna love if he plays. Curry's shooting guard eligible, or I like him, but I don't
surprising,
ever love him with like
right?
Boogie off the minutes limit and everything. And Booker's up there in a tougher matchup, but then D'Lo's sitting right under them at 8.4, followed by a lot of guys who don't have that same ceiling. So I'm probably gonna land on him a decent amount, especially where people like we all are scared of him.
Sure,
So
he's
I won't mind going
it,
him.
I absolutely, he's definitely a great tournament play and probably low owned because, like you said, people still think San Antonio is a matchup to avoid, which we know it's not, especially for like point guards and big men. But um, down in the 5Ks, I guess I'm ready to jump down there now. This guy, DraftKings hates him because they never price him right. But Bogdan Bogdanovic from Sacramento is at what 5K? Like he's been like four or something, and then now he's up to 5K, and like the dudes can play. Like, if you look at optimizers and rankings, like every day he's projected, 7x. Like he's a baller, dude. I like playing him a lot. He's a good value.
The other guys I'm looking at down low. There's a couple of nets there. Joe Harris, who killed me the other night, or he's been on this
Yeah.
massive streak of like 30 plus fantasy point games. And I was going crazy. I mentioned on Twitter how like Portland allows some crazy statistic on 3-point percentage and everything. Joe Harris frequency is insane, like 50% of his shots are threes, and then he goes out and complete duds. But he's still cheap. He's still performing well. He's still shooting phenomenal from three. And like we just mentioned too, San Antonio's defense isn't what we think it is. But also down there on the net side, Alan Crabb,
Hmm.
who's been seeing close to 30 minutes. He's still dirt cheap.
Just
People might look at
busted
game
like
logs.
last game,
Yeah,
right?
but people see that he just didn't see his normal field goal attempts. Like I'm gonna put that more of an outlier compared to his other games. But the matchup is still appealing. Some salary relief there, so I don't mind going to him.
For sure. I mean, if you can figure out the nets on any given night and who's going to go off and how the rotations are going to go, you can you can win some money. But
If
uh,
only we knew.
if only you knew who Atkinson was going to play, and is he going to go 10 guys deep, and is he going to? Sometimes he'll just leave the bench unit out there for like a whole quarter. Like you really don't know. But I certainly can't argue with that. There's one more guy that I hate playing him, but you can't argue with the spot and the upside. But it's Tim Hardaway Jr. He's
Oh
at.
man.
I know. I'm waiting for it. I don't like using him ever, but I actually think he's better with Doncic in because he makes stuff work for him. He finds him on, gets him open, gets him some open looks. He's coming off a 21 5-4 last game against Utah, and I know that was without Luca, but he's had some solid games. Obviously some duds in between, but I mean, what is he? He's 5-5 on FanDuel, and he's
5-2 on DK.
5-2. I mean, and no one plays him because everybody hates him, and so it's the Clippers. So I mean, totally GPP kind of play, but just somebody to keep an eye on. I think he's someone that if you're making a ton of lineups and you want to diversify a little bit, or you want to stack that game up or something, then why not?
Yeah, I don't mind going him either. Um, if he ever catches fire and he loves to shoot, so that continues, he can smash. Last two guys for shooting guard I like on the value range be Eric Gordon. Of course, no Harden, it becomes that much more appealing. But
I mean, do
we're
you
gonna
think Harden plays? I'll be honest. Like, what's your gut say? Like, do you think they just? I mean, this is Atlanta. Do they think they can? I mean, they just beat the Warriors without Harden. Do they really want to rush Harden back for Atlanta? Or are like, we got this without him? I mean, that's. I'm not trying to play guessing games, but a little bit. Like,
yeah, it's tough. It's a tough call. Um,
it
like we
doesn't sound like
know
his
historically
injury's that
Harden.
serious, right?
Yeah, we know Harden likes playing through these injuries too. The good thing is because they're not in a back to back, we should know by morning shoot around.
Right.
So hopefully we get that news sometime relevant to us early in the morning where we can know if we play him. Even at 4-6, like the match was amazing. He's still been paying off that price tag even without Harden. I kind of think ownership drops off a lot if Harden's in.
Oh, for sure.
Does he have that same ceiling? Of course not, but at 4-6 against Atlanta, I might take a few shots even if Harden's in there.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely should. And he's another guy I hate playing because he's so scoring dependent, and he'll go out there like a Tim Hardaway. And we always joke around like, Eric Tim Hardaway's like a poor man's Eric Gordon, but if he's not shooting well, he's gonna have 8 points and 2 rebounds and kill you. But I mean, at 4-6 on DK, you're right. It's a great matchup. Shooting guards um, against the Hawks. I mean, I'm on board.
All right, so we'll move it over to small forward. Start us off. Take us up top. What do you see there stands out to you so far?
All right, so we're obviously, figuring that Giannis is probably going to miss. He's doubtful at this point. And I don't really like LeBron against Memphis that much. He's 12K on FanDuel. I know on DK he's 11-2, so it's a little bit easier. But I mean, I'm probably coming down to KD at 10K on FanDuel. He's 9-4 on DK, and I like small forwards against the Hornets. And KD's been. I thought he'd be one guy that took the biggest hit whenever Boogie got in the lineup, but he's been pretty solid. He hasn't had massive ceiling, other than that one game that Boogie was out for. But I don't mind using some KD. And then there's not a lot else to pay up for other than LeBron or KD as far as small forward goes. We assume that Giannis is out. That is.
Yeah. So of course, mind Middleton. There's not a debate. You're gonna love him. He's again a part of that cheap Bucks core. Only 6.3 on DK. That is gonna be hugely benefited by Giannis being out. But LeBron's interesting to me. On DK, he's 11-2. Of course, the matchup's slow. Memphis is decent defensively. But what's been appealing is they really don't get blown out still. Like, while they lost Gasol, they lost a lot of their ancillary pieces like Garrett Temple on the wing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They've still been playing pretty well. And these young guys like Ivan Robb and stuff like that, they play hard and they
Yeah.
perform. So it's
I mean,
going
they
to be a
got Jonas
slugfest.
now. Yeah.
Yeah, so the game's gonna be slow. It's a tough defensive matchup, but like we heard the whole thing where Luke Walton might extend his minutes, and it's that new LeBron where he's making that
Yeah.
playoff push. We're gonna see that aggressive LeBron. If he's gonna come in super low owned, I'm not gonna really mind going to him. He is expensive. Where again, a large slate, you kind of don't always need to go all the way up there. You can find some of this insane value like the Bucks guys
Right.
towards the mid range, but something to
I mean,
consider who
he's
has a huge
he's
ceiling there.
I feel like he's probably, like you said, he's a good tournament play on DK because he's obviously he's LeBron and he has a huge ceiling, but uh, I just don't know if I'll land on him too much. I guess on FanDuel you could make the case because it's totally different builds over there where you need to play two small forwards, and if you're not in love with the mid range and the cheap plays, the ideology is that you're going to lock in some raw points at the position. So might as well lock him in and then play a guy in the mid range or play a value guy. But if you don't play a LeBron or Durant, and then you end up, with 20 or 30 points from each guys, you're chasing the rest of the guys who played him, the rest of the way, 40 or 50 points behind. So I see that. I just don't know if he's going to make my builds yet, based on, I just like a lot of other guys point per dollar better.
So I see two more guys on the small forward range on the top end on DK that stand out to me. First, it's gonna be Tobias Harris, but
Yes.
he's all right. So I said before, even
Yes.
pre-show, where everyone knows I love to talk too much. I'm gonna try to keep it a who I like instead of who I don't like today.
Yes.
I want to bring up Tobias Harris at 6.8K is the one guy who I don't like today.
Oh, geez.
I mean, you sell me on him after, but he's 6.8K, and since the trade deadline, he's been there 6 games. He's seen two without Embiid, and surprisingly, he's seen in both games a usage decrease from his average, an assist rate decrease, and the only thing that's increased is his turnover ratio, his turnover rate.
Ugh.
So, and again, people have been going to him over Jimmy Butler a lot, so I might take shots on Jimmy Butler over him, but he's the one guy I mentioned I don't like today. Other than that, the only guy I like on that tap end too is gonna be Gallinari. I think he's still too cheap without his minutes limit now. Since he came back, he's been seeing over 27% usage rate, and his rebound rate's actually been really surprisingly high too. So I like him. But take us down low. What do you see from
Well,
value so far?
I gotta get in there on Tobias. I mean, I'm a
Sell me on him.
Tobias
Like
truther.
my thing with him, I always thought when he was with the Clippers, yes, he's great. Yes, I love him. He's talented at basketball, but he played in such an environment that was meant for him to thrive.
That's for
Where he
sure.
started without Gallinari, where he was injured. He started with like Shea Alexander, Pepe, Avery Bradley.
Yeah, he was a usage monster. He was getting
Yeah,
20 some shots. The thing about it is there's no Embiid, and we just don't have a ton of sample size with the Sixers, the new look Sixers without Embiid. So it's hard to say, just based on a couple games, what he can do. And we're looking at the highest total on the slate, and we're looking at a 1 or 2 point spread, and 238 might be low. I'll be honest, because the Sixers play fast, the
yeah.
Pelicans play fast, and they don't play any defense. And it's a ridiculously good matchup. I mean, you see that big green 30 right there? Like, small forwards have been killing the Pelicans all year. I mean, 6.8. I know it might seem like more of a cash play, but I mean, he's got 40 or 50 in him if he's making shots and if this game gets up and down. I really do like him, but I
And
see
if
your
you
point.
like him, it's a gold mine for you because he's not going to get any ownership on an 11-game slate, especially with
Right.
Middleton being 500 below him right there with no Giannis. So,
Right. I mean,
but
and he's really over at power forward on FanDuel anyway. So
uh,
that's the other thing is I don't love a ton of power forwards. So he's 7-4 over there, and he's a nice, I think, a floor play as far as having a good cash floor. Um, but I totally get what you're saying too. I mean, I get it. There's a ton of options.
take us down low now. Value range. What do you see so far for small
All right.
forward?
All right. I had a couple guys down here that I liked. Let me get down here. Um, here we go. So Mirotic. Let's talk about Mirotic for a second because you know the big question is what are they going to do with his minutes? Because he was ridiculous last game. He had played
He
18
saw
minutes,
18 minutes and still smashed.
smashed. I
Like,
mean, we know the guy is a fantasy monster, and if he plays 25 or 28 minutes, or I don't know what if they will start him or just bring him off the bench, but he's really intriguing. He's 5'6" on FanDuel, and what's he on DK? He's
DK is 5'4".
I mean, geez, he can make some serious profit on that number.
If he
You
sees
know,
any kind of extended run here,
right,
and a
right,
little bit of a revenge spot too. Like, don't forget
yeah,
that. I know
oh yeah,
we have a lot of narrative guys in Y Stake Slack, which you should get in if you're not in there already. But they'll it's revenge. He's 5.4. No Giannis. He smashed last game. It's hard not to have some interest in there.
for sure. I'm actually on both revenge guys today. I'm like the grumpy anti-revenge guy all the time. Like, don't play guys just because they're like revenge narratives are overrated. But I'm actually on both of these guys so far.
Other guys too from the bottom range you see. First, there's a couple Portland guys, Jake
Yes.
Layman and Aminu, who I think they're both exactly 4.5K and DK.
And what about
Um,
Harkless?
Harkless, I don't like Harkless is tough for me because he just he's dirt cheap. Like he's 3-3 and DK
Jeez.
has been going off, but I just can't believe it's sustainable. With Evan Turner being out, like yeah, he's seen a little bit of an
28
increase in
minutes,
minutes in
22
one
minutes.
game,
Yeah.
but it's really just his efficiency that's really been up there. And like last game, he saw 5 stocks, which kind of course, like really escalates your production there. He
Yeah,
didn't see
man.
any kind of increase in his 3-point production. His field goal attempts are higher than normal, but still only at like 9. It's hard for like he's 3-3, yes. Like I'm sure I'll
So
be
he's
going to
10x
him.
the last 2 games, basically.
Yeah, it's tough not to like the guy when he's 3-3, but again, understand the volatility he has where he can,
Yeah.
even if you see 30-point games, his game logs less too, he can get you like an 11-point game in a game.
Yeah, right. I mean, he's definitely not a cash play. There's no doubt about it. But I mean, I love targeting guys who get stocks. The Stevie Brown term stocks. Uh, I mean, on FanDuel that's 15 points for 5 stocks. So I mean, I love targeting those kind of guys for GPP. And you watch him play, he's like a high energy guy, runs up and down the floor, fast break, rebounds. I mean, he's a great player. He's a good scrappy stat stuffer. So I don't mind him at all.
He's one of the guys too. I don't want to rant about it now, or in the first look, but I think he's very underappreciated as a real life basketball player
Oh, for
because
sure.
we're so skewed and seeing him as a DFS player. But I
Right.
love guys like him who are underappreciated like that.
Yeah, man. He'll go out and guard the best player on their team. He's not going to try to. They don't run any plays for him. He's just going to get garbage buckets and steals, and he's totally like one of those, like you said, underappreciated, just kind of scrappy dudes.
So going back to Layman and Aminu, they're
Yeah,
both
go ahead.
4.5K and DK. Differentiating is kind of tough for me. Well, if I'm playing a more closer game build, then I might play Aminu over Layman, where we saw Jake Layman get that extended run last game, even in a blowout. And honestly, he fell into a lot more rebounds, but his stock numbers weren't anything out of the ordinary. And he still played pretty well. The matchup's nice, so I don't mind going to either one of these guys too, depending on the build you want to play.
For sure. Yeah, I mean they're both in play. And Cleveland. The thing is, like, is Cleveland going to show up? I mean, you hate to count them
You
out
never
because
know.
you never know. Like, you think, oh, Cleveland's going to blown out tonight, and then they show up, and other times they don't. And I mean, I guess with Kevin Love, if he's going to play a lot, I mean, maybe they'll hang. So
There's JJ Redick again, part of the Sixers with that Embiid at 5.1K.
yes,
It's really again another guy in a great matchup who just shot completely efficiently last game. Uh, we know he likes to shoot. His field goal attempts weren't anything out of the ordinary. He just shoots a little better and sees his normal minutes in this great matchup. Then
where do you stand on Harrison Barnes? I got to ask you that at 4.7 or 4.8.
so I like him, but I don't think you need to go for him. He's forward in DK. He's very volatile, like we've seen 33 minutes and 23 DKP, and then we saw 41 minutes and 45. But I don't
He's
think you
just
really need to
so
go to him.
he's so freaking scoring dependent. I hate playing
Yeah,
him, but I mean, the DK will not price him up, even though he's you know playing a ton of minutes and on a fast paced team. He's going to always be in play for tournaments, but I don't love it. I don't love it. But we're not talking about guys we don't love. Let's get to some guys we do. Are you ready to go to power forward or?
let's go to power forward.
All right,
So I'm going to start us off with the first guy here at the top end
let's
because
do it.
he's going to be one of the more interesting talked about guys, whether he's
Oh,
played
geez,
or not. But you know who I'm going to right
I
now.
do.
It's AD at 8.1 on DK going against Philly. You have
God.
any interest in him at his price tag?
Well, on FanDuel at 9.2, I really don't. I don't think. But on DK, I pulled up DK tonight and I saw that price and I go, oh God, they are definitely trying to bait you into this. I mean, yes, I do have interest. I don't want to have interest. I've pretty much written him off for the rest of the year. But, at 8K, what does he have to play? He can play 20, 25 minutes and smash that, and I just don't know. I don't know what to do with him. I think you have to consider him though. To just totally fade 100% if you're playing a lot of entries, it's probably not a good idea in this spot.
You definitely have to consider him. I think people are looking at all the news of him and the bullshit going on in New Orleans and kind of overlooking him, but you can't forget the kind of producer he was
Right.
throughout the whole season, throughout his whole career. And 8.1, if he sees like 25 minutes, I think he's definitely going to pay off his price tag. It's just
Yep.
tougher where power forward bridging into them. We have like Larry Markkinen on DK at 7.9,
Yes.
who I like a lot, man. He's been continuing to crush. I-
They put Laurie up to 8-9 on FanDuel, and the thing about it is, I still kind of want to play him, man. Like, the
That's
dude
what I was
is
exactly that. Like he's
who's crushing.
on DK, people look at the 8K price tag and think it's priced up, but that's kind of priced inefficiently now. Like I kind of like that price tag there.
I mean, his rebounding numbers have been off the charts, and the minutes are there. I mean, if you look at when he played Milwaukee just 2 weeks ago, and he hit 50, he had 50 on FanDuel that game, and so he's still at, even at 9K, if he hits 50, man, he's hitting you, almost 6x. So I definitely like him, especially if you're gonna do a game stack.
Now there's another guy who again I got to bring up, similar to AD. that you have to consider too. It's going to be Kevin Love. Where on DK, he's only 6.9K.
I saw that.
What are you thinking about him? You have any interest there?
I mean,
Go ahead.
I guess we have to see if we fit any news as far as what his minutes are going to be. What did he play last game? 20, 25?
So yeah, 26 minutes last game.
But put up 15 shots, and
what I said earlier, Joe Harris, it's the threes against Portland's a thing. His field goal attempts, the rebound rate, it's all been there. It's kind of weird though. While he's been performing well, his production over the last three since returning back has kind of been almost too good to be true.
right.
I don't believe he really produced at this sustainable rate.
That's why that's why I think you need more minutes. I mean, unless they're going to come out and say he's going to play 28 or 30 minutes, like I'm kind of like, especially 7-1 on FanDuel, like not that interested. I can see it on DK a little more, especially with the 3-point bonus. But I do have to say, as a Cavs fan, last year against Portland, I think he had like 12 threes or something. You had like a 60 or 70-point game. Do you remember that last year or no? Like early in the season.
I think he's been known to torch Portland for a while now. Where
he crushed. I think he hit like 8 in the first quarter or something. Like, I mean, I know it's not really the same team and whatever else, but it's a great matchup.
Yeah, I like him a lot. At 6'9", it's impossible to ignore him, and I will probably guarantee you I'm gonna have a decent amount of him. The other thing with him is like he's one of those guys. I love targeting guys who don't fall into a lot of stocks, blocks, or steals. So if they ever come into that game where they do fall into a couple more, they really hit a ceiling game.
Yep.
They're still priced cheap, and I like him a lot.
How about I got the next guy if you want. Bagley.
I was just gonna bring him up, man.
We're on the same page there. Good.
I love him. 6'5" in DK. It's a great matchup. The minutes have been trending up. He's been smashing. He's closing games for him now.
People don't play him though. Like you notice ownership on him. Like people, whether they worry about the minutes off the bench or whether like they see a couple duds here and there, like they just don't play him. And dude's a monster. Like I don't get it.
My biggest thing too, I always look for guys who are gonna close games because that guarantees minutes for him. And when he's trending around like the 35-minute mark now, it should be relatively close game tomorrow, relatively high scoring.
For sure.
And he's still only 6'5". You gotta love him. It's tough not to like him there.
Yeah, I mean, FanDuel put him all the way up to 7-4, but I mean that's still respectable as far as comparing the two sites. But I mean, yeah, I love him too. 49 and 45 the last two games as far as FanDuel points. Like he's a stud. I'm definitely gonna have some shares, and I think that game is pretty stackable too. As far as I don't know if you can squeeze Cat in there if you want to fade Cat in that game stack or what you want to do with it, but I definitely like that game too.
Anything that you see in the top end or stays right into the value range there?
What are you doing with Julius Randle? I mean, if AD is in, are we just off him totally? Because you never know when he's gonna like pop and come off the bench and do something. I don't love his price.
He's weird. It's tough, man. Like you see his price tag rising when his production's not been there, but you see a couple games of 38 and 39 minutes for him. You would think he's still gonna hit like some insane numbers there when he really hasn't been. I guess it's gonna be really ownership thing for me. It's 11-game slate. No one's gonna be too crazy high owned, but if he's coming in like disgustingly, disrespectfully low owned,
right,
I definitely got to get my share of him. But there's also,
I just feel like he has a game coming at some point where he's going to go for 50, coming off the bench because and that's the thing. Like if you're playing some AD, I would definitely hedge with some Randall because as soon as AD plays 15 minutes and sits or something, and then Randall's finishing that game, and it's definitely I definitely want some Pelicans exposure because Philly plays fast and they have no rim protection with Embiid. Like I feel like they're going to give up a lot of points.
And we'll go overlook too with Aldridge right behind him at 7.5K.
Yeah,
and he only still has 21 minutes in the first into the back-to-back, going into the Nets tomorrow, and marketing right above him for 100 more. Like he's going to go overlooked. So
you gotta have some, right? You gotta have some.
Yeah, I don't mind it.
Some MLA, yeah, some Aldridge for sure. After that, though, like if we're scrolling, are we going down to value now, or
Yeah, take us right into the value now.
okay? There's one more guy before value. I guess it's kind of depends on Harden, but like Faried is 6'6" on FanDuel, and I don't know if you watched that. Did you watch any of that game the other night?
I didn't get to watch it, but I was just going to mention him as some of my value because he's only 5'5" on DK,
Okay,
but no Fareed. He started in,
he
which is kind
played
of surprising for
a lot
me.
of minutes with Capella. They were running a lot of
Yeah,
it together, and it was good. It looked good. I liked it. Like, why don't they do that more?
I maybe he's finally getting unleashed in the Rockets, but if he's 5'5" and Harden's gonna be out again, if he's gonna start, see around
He
33 minutes again in a great matchup,
he was standing in the corner. He stood in the corner and hit a three on a kick out from Chris Paul. And if he's gonna do that, if he's got a decent perimeter game with all the rebounds and block shots, he's a guy you have to like, especially for a floor, because he's gonna get rebounds and points. Like you said, he's real reliable for that. But I was just impressed personally watching him play and seeing him, like, he's not the banger inside anymore. Like, he's got a little bit of a finesse to his game.
yeah, this is kind of the matchup he excels in, where it's gonna be a faster paced game.
Hmm.
He can run the floor a little bit, get those exciting dunks. He's a high
Yeah,
energy player, so if it's to me, it's only gonna be if Harden's out, of course. But where he's especially on DK, I think he said he's over 6'5" on FanDuel, but on DK he's 5'5", so
yeah,
I'll be over that there.
for sure. What about? I guess we got the Miami guys. I don't know what
Olynyk
you're gonna.
revenge.
Right, Olenek. Wait, what did he play for?
I think he got drafted by the Suns originally.
Okay. See, I don't really get on that with that, but whatever. I mean, he's he's playing well and he's cheap. I prefer playing him over um over Bam, I guess, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't mind Olynyk, but I don't think I'll need to go there. Um, he's 3'9". I think I'd rather go all the way down to like a shot on DJ Wilson or Ilyasova, where they're a lot cheaper and it's shot on them, one or the other with no Giannis,
Hmm.
or right around the same price tag as Olynyk, going a little further up. Two guys who might both benefit from some injury news tomorrow. PJ Tucker, who saw an insane game without Harden,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's Kyle Quinn too. If Turner's
If Turner's
questionable,
out,
so
right?
yeah, if Turner's gonna be out, then I'd much rather go to Quinn, who's power forward eligible and DK somehow. But
I suppose we kind of skipped over Sabonis there, but I mean, I love Sabonis. He's only 6'3". He could easily pay off that price if Turner's out, even coming off the bench. In fact, I like him better off the bench as far as statistically getting more usage and getting more shot attempts. So I don't really love that game at all, that Indy Detroit game. But at all, if Turner is out, you got to consider Sabonis and Kyle Quinn.
definitely. Do you have interest in Ilyasova or DJ Wilson at all? Like they're
I mean,
cheap, they're both volatile, but
yeah, I mean, I forget. Did they start Ilyasova last time Jonas was? Does he usually start?
I think they started him, but he
I
got in
like.
early foul trouble or something like that. I honestly can't recall, so I don't want to go I don't want to say anything that's not true, but I'm pretty sure he started and got pulled early, whether from foul trouble or what.
I mean,
And they,
the big thing is like we don't know. The Miritich is the wild card. Like,
yeah,
we
he
haven't
can.
we haven't had a game with no Giannis and Miritich, so I don't know how much I love either of those guys because I feel like Miro's going to eat up some of those minutes at the 4-2.
I'm right with you there too, and I don't think we'll really need to go to them where they're both volatile and it's an 11 game slate. We're gonna have a little more reliable value, I'm
For
sure,
sure.
with better
Yeah.
ceilings. Like one other guy I'm gonna mention now, Jermichael Green. He's
Yes.
been on a little bit of a tear there. He's still only 3.6 on DK. He crushed
Hmm.
today. He's some cheap value on the first look. And he's continuing to perform well, so I don't mind going to him there.
Yeah, for sure.
Uh,
I had him circled too. Now that you mention it,
yeah.
J Mike, I can get on board with that.
Only the guy for me who I see down low on DK power forward, definitely priced up, but I still think it's kind of fair, is Diallo, where AD's only seeing like the 20, 25 minutes, and when AD plays, people still aren't garnering ownership over him.
Sure.
He's a point per minute monster. Uh, I don't mind taking some shots on him because if he gets those 25 plus minutes, like he could easily pay off his price tag plus more. We saw that huge game from him where he posted like I think it was like 15 to 13
Yeah.
and some
43, 43 points at 3,200 the other day. Like,
yeah,
and that's the thing is like he was massive chalk last game, and watch he'll be like 10% owned because everyone's like, oh, AD's in, so let's play AD or Randall or whatever. But you're right, and no one's gonna want to play him at 4.8. So it's a nice contrarian play, and I like it. I mean, again, Philadelphia inside is extremely vulnerable with Embiid out. I know they got Boban, but he plays like 15, 20 minutes, and then they got Bolden. Like they don't have any rim protection. They don't have great rebounding. I like it.
So let's take us over to center now. For
Okay.
me, it's one of the weaker positions so far that I see. There's
Yeah.
not a ton of love up top. A lot of the value is also power forward eligible on DK at least. What do you see that really interests you on a first look for center?
Yeah. Like you said, I'm not loving the pay up options. I'm really not. There's one guy who has iron who is a kind of a sneaky tournament play, and it's Whiteside. And I hate playing Whiteside. I really do. But 6'6" against Phoenix, who gets crushed by centers. And I think Phoenix plays slow. I think that's one thing people don't realize is Phoenix is not the old Phoenix. They do not play fast. So if he can stay on the floor for 25, 30 minutes, like he's gonna crush against Aiton, like who's a great offensive player, but he can't guard anybody yet. I don't know how you feel about Hassan.
I like Whiteside, but kind of bridging to my other guy. There's Whiteside on DK at 6'6", and then you go 200 down more, where there's Valanciunas.
JV, yep.
Like if we know he gets the minutes again, where everyone, including myself, was scared off him last
Oh my
game because
gosh,
we
that
heard he
stupid
was.
blurb that came out. Like, why did they have to put that out? I was all
Man,
over
I
him.
hate that.
And
That
that
always kills me,
stupid
man. You
coach thing.
hear,
He had a long flight. He's make not play the minutes, and you're like, oh, I'm off of him now. And all of a sudden, 30 minutes or 29 minutes, whatever, and he smashes. Like that's
yeah,
so
starts, sees 30 minutes, and
dumb.
goes nuts. But he's in a nice match against the Lakers. It kind of scares me where we know the Lakers don't want to give any minutes to their centers, like McGee, especially. Like if they can
Right.
avoid playing a center, they do. We've always seen the same case in Toronto with Valanciunas, so I'm scared this game goes a little smaller with like Ivan Robb taking minutes at the five.
Yeah, right. And Joakim Noah too. You got him in the fold. Like that blew me away last game that Noah and Jonas both they were on the floor together at one point. Like, and I just don't think they can do that. And they're not gonna be able to play that big against the Lakers, who could play like LeBron at the five and just go small.
For me as a Knicks fan, man, it's crazy to see. Not only is he actually getting real NBA minutes now, where he absolutely robbed the Knicks, but he's been. I don't want to admit it because again, a Knicks fan, I hate the guy, but he's been playing well in them, or at
Yeah,
least
right.
fantasy wise. Like he's performing in his short minutes, and when he gets extended, he's smashing. So he's kind of the cheaper end for the centers from the Memphis.
I
Uh,
gotta tell you this though. Guess you have to guess Jonas's price on FanDuel. It's 7.6. He's priced the same as Miles Turner and above Aiton and Whiteside. Like that's nuts. Like I'm not paying that. It's a DK only play. Like
yeah, DK only definitely. I always say too on these podcasts that like the best way to mitigate volatility is taking guys at their cheaper price tags. And when he's 7'6" and you don't really know the minutes on him, and yes, he has a ceiling of like almost 50 DKP, but like at 7'6", it's not really worth the price tag on him. Where there's a lot of other better options there, or you can always punt the position there in FanDuel.
hmm I mean,
Otherwise,
uh,
center for me up top, there's two guys who have a little bit of interest in. Of course, it's going to be Cat if he plays.
yeah,
On DK, he's only 10-1. The matchup's amazing, a faster paced game. Centers against the Kings.
sure.
I like him a lot. And the only other guy up top who I'm seeing, it's going to be a GPP play for me, but he was my first half like crush. Clint Capella, man.
Oh
He's
yeah, Clint.
7K. He's been getting his minutes even since he returned now, like 33 and 28, where he didn't always see an insane amount of minutes before that. Um, he sees like 33 minutes against the Hawks and he's 7K. It's going to be so tough not to pay off that price tag. He's just not been performing super well or anything.
I think
But
I like Clint. You know, I do. I think honestly, you need
he's
Harden
pretty,
in. If Harden
yeah.
is in, then you're gonna have that pick and roll with Harden and Capella and Ferried will have their minutes separated. Like I think what happened last game, and again, I watched that game. Is he was out there with Ferried a lot, and Ferried like stole a bunch of his rebounds and stole a bunch of his shot attempts. Like so, if Harden is out and they start Ferried again, like I think that hurts Capella, and I'm a little iffy there. But if Harden plays, then I'm on board with Clint, and I think they move, you know, the Manimal back to the bench and they stagger him with Capella more. So I think it's more of a Harden in or Harden out kind of situation.
I'm right with you there with that.
Um,
So
what
now
about? Go ahead.
we're to go a little more barren. It's the scary zone
I have a
of
guy down here I love that you're gonna that people will make fun of me for probably, but I've been playing
oh
him for
man,
like 2 weeks and no one plays him and he smashes every time.
Willie Cauley Stein.
Nope.
All right, well, I was gonna bring him up. I like him a little
You're
bit at 4-7
I do like
in the
Blake
matchup.
Stein though. Yep. It,
Uh,
it's you're gonna
Oh,
make
wait,
fun
wait,
of me.
wait, wait. Let me try to take a guess because I think you said him in the Slack last time.
I did, and
I was
everyone's
like,
like,
no
"Really?"
fucking way I'm playing this guy on a loaded center slate. And of course, he had to go out and smash, and he's still cheap. And going against his brother this time, it's Robin
Yep.
Lopez, isn't it?
Yes.
Oh
Robin
my
Lopez
God.
4-1. Listen, dude, why I don't understand why you wouldn't play him. He is getting
Fuck, it's
27,
Robin
21,
Lopez. That's
32.
why. But
It doesn't matter. Like he's not a bad basketball. I know he's a clown and he's like a total weirdo and he likes to attack mascots and stuff. Like I get it, but he is an efficient basketball player. Look what he's shooting. 6 for 8, 8 for 13, 10 for 15, 8 for 13, you know. And
and he's seeing minutes now, which is the
he's seeing
most
minutes.
important thing.
That's the thing. Like I know he's never gonna like have a 2010 game or anything. But he doesn't need to at 4K. Like he's smashed value every time. I'm looking at he's been 3.9, 3.8, 4K, 4K, and he's gone 6x, 9x, 8x, 7x. Like I just don't see any other. I don't see a lot of great value on the slate that's just more reliable than Robin Lopez. And it's Milwaukee, and it's his brother. Like,
Brother narrative.
like
I
and
do like
Milwaukee.
the call. I definitely do like it. It scares me a little bit now that they have Miro, who's kind of Brooke Lopez, but more of a mobile version of him. So
Sure.
I'm scared they can kind of go into a smaller lineup where we see Markkinen taking those minutes at the five instead of
That's
Robin
true.
Lopez. And like Brooks run off the floor with Miro taking those minutes at the five. But like you say, I have to get over my stigma of hating this guy because he's been continuing to smash every time at a cheap price tag.
What about? I
Where
mean, that's it. What about Brook? I mean, he's what? He's 4.6. Like, and I
yeah,
don't like
he's
playing Brook
cheap too.
Lopez. Trust me. Like, I don't want to, but dude, like, I did that right up before the break on like stats and stuff. Like, he's top five in the league in blocks. Like, I know he doesn't score a ton of points, and I know he's kind of scoring dependent in some games, but like he's gonna get blocked 2 or 3 shots every game. I know you don't like counting on that, but he's a shot blocker, and I don't know. I think centers against Chicago has been a thing too. So I'm not saying roll both Lopez guys out in the same lineup and do something crazy like that. But I mean, if you're gonna stack this game up and you want two cheap centers, like I don't, it's 11 game slate. You can do anything you want. You can go nuts. You can make 150 lineups and get some Lopez exposure there.
Yeah, and I don't mind, like you said, where the center spot on DK at least is getting overtaken by a lot of those power forward eligible guys too. So there's not a ton of value down low,
Mm-mm.
and they're both relatively cheap too. So I really don't have a problem going to them actually.
Do you have any other
The
value
only
guys
other
down
guy
here?
who I'm looking at right now too, again, kind of, but not really contention if Cat's out, is Taj Gibson.
Yeah.
The matchup's nice. With Cat out, he's been smashing. So 31 to 25 minutes, which is above his season average, of course. But we've also have Gorgie Dang out too, who if
He's
I,
questionable now. Looks like.
I think he's probable last too. But if one of the other is out, like Cat's out and Dang's in, I'm still gonna like Taj, where he's cheap.
Sure.
Especially same thing. Even if Cat's in, Dang's out, I still like Taj. Might not love him as much, but again, we're talking about a center position where I don't love a lot here. The only like top end play that I love is Cat, but he's questionable too.
I got
Uh,
I got a guy. I got a cheap guy for you. 3K guy. Three
3K
five.
guy, go ahead.
Well, 3.5. Uh, Ed Davis. Uh,
Oh man, he's
well,
actually
let's.
worked a lot of wonders for me too because he always has done like hit value and then have a few smash games.
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't know if you know this, but Ed Davis has the second best rebounding rate in the NBA behind Hassan Whiteside. Like, I know he doesn't play minutes, but I mean, he plays 18 minutes and gets 10 rebounds. Like, rebounding is one of the most predictable stats in the NBA. Like, that's 12 points right there and 10 rebounds. So, I mean, I'm fine playing Ed Davis. I don't want to play him. He's only center eligible now. He used to be power forward eligible too, right?
Yeah, it used to be. No, I
I
don't
mean,
think
I
he's
don't
not
I don't
anymore.
love that I don't love that he's just a center, but I mean, again, if you're making a bunch of lineups and you have one spot left and you're stuck at 3,500, you could do a lot worse. I mean, he's averaging like 6, 7x the last 3 games.
Yeah. Anything else you see at center here, or you want to move right into top threes?
Yeah, not a lot. Go ahead. I'm ready. Do it.
Go ahead, take us right into point guard. Top threes here.
All right. So, I mean, I definitely like, regardless of Harden's status, Chris Paul, Eric Bledsoe, assuming that Giannis is out, and probably Ben Simmons.
I'm gonna take Eric Bledsoe, Ben Simmons, and then I'm going Derrick Rose.
Okay, okay. I dig
Over to shooting guard now.
it. You can go first on this one.
I'm gonna take Zach LaVine, D'Lo. Of course, you have to include Brogdon there too.
Okay, definitely Levine. Levine is one of mine. I'm probably gonna go Middleton second, and and Brogdon third.
Small forward. I'm gonna take LeBron. I like him. I think he's gonna come in lower ownership there. It's gonna be LeBron, Middleton, and Gallinari for me.
Okay, I'm over on FanDuel, so I won't cheat and use Middleton as a small forward, but definitely I'm gonna do KD number one, and then Mirotic and JJ Redick.
Power forward. I like Larry Markkinen a lot. Kevin Love's up there too, and then my boy Marvin Bagley.
Yes, I definitely love Bagley. Um, Got to get Tobias Harris in there, and man, Markkinen over Aldridge, but it's close. I'll go Markkinen.
Center.
Phew.
It's definitely tough. Not a lot we obviously liked, but I'll go Cat plays JVL and DK 6.4K, and then Taj if Cat's out.
Okay, I'm gonna go Hassan Whiteside, and I can't take both Lopez brothers. Let's see. Uh, I'm gonna go Joakim Noah and Robin Lopez. That sounds so gross to say, but you know, those dudes are smashing, man. I know they're not guys you want to roster, but you got to think about it. You got to consider them tomorrow.
You really sold me on them a little bit too. Even when he said the other day, I hate Robin Lopez, Brooke like a little more. It's always tough to sell me on them, but if not a lot opens up, they're kind of some value I might be going to now.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is like, where's the value going to be? You know, if I think the value is at big man, so why not? Unless you're paying up for Cat or one of those really elite plays, like I like punting with big men because, like I said, rebounding is a really predictable stat, and block shot upside. I mean, I like it.
All right, so that's really going to be it. Of course, this is our free YouTube podcast open to the public, but you got to come in the Y Stick Slack chat, man. That's when we really break it down during the day.
For sure.
React to the injury news, dive a little deeper as the day progresses. Day pass only 250, includes articles, but the Slack's where you want to be, and that comes to the monthly pass or more. So definitely come check us out. Give us a shot. I promise you, for 250 for the day, it's gonna pay off itself. So
for sure. And the other thing is, like, a lot of guys don't realize we have some different promo codes going on, different promotions. Like, we're always trying to run some different contests on Twitter, and then if you hit me up on the Wise Take Twitter, we always have some promo codes. We can hook you up on a little discount, the week pass or a month pass. So I can't overstate the importance of the Slack chat, honestly. Like, we're in there all day talking plays, the last hour before lock when things get crazy, and all of a sudden, your article's outdated or whatever. Like, I think it's a really big feature that we have that, helps a lot of our members out. So,
Dan, it was definitely fun, man. It was your first great podcast. I've been looking forward to this for a while now, where I was hoping to be the one to break it down with you for the first one.
I mean, how long we know each other, man? Like, what, 4 years we know each other, and we haven't
probably right around there.
Haven't talked to each other before, so this was a lot of fun. Thanks for having me on.
Definitely, it's gonna be it for us tonight, Nation. You can find me, of course, anytime in the Y Stake Slack or on Twitter at Stevie Brown DFS. Dan, go ahead, plug yourself a little bit.
Same thing. I'm at Thunder Dan DFS, and then I also run the Wise Take Twitter. So if you hit us up on the Wise Take Twitter, I'll be able to get back to you there, and check us out, man. We're one of the best in the business, and not everybody knows about us yet.
That's gonna be it, guys. Good luck tomorrow.
All right. Good luck in your contest. See you guys.
Yeah.